Hey, and welcome back to Learn How to Connectly, where we show you how you can easily connect the apps to run a business together and create super efficient workflows. Today, I'm going to show you how easily you can analyze revenue and even predict the future by forecasting Xero repeating invoices with Connectly. For those of you new to the channel, Connectly is an integration as a service platform with a difference. Unlike other platforms, all of our integrations come complete with business logic already built. This means you can be up and running in minutes with richly functional integrations. What's more, all Connectlys come with a free trial. Check out connectly.io for more details. Before we dive into building the report, let me take you over to Power BI Online to show you what we'll end up with. I'll switch to Microsoft Power BI Online to take you through the finished report first, and then we'll go back to Power BI Desktop and see how you can build it. This report covers a 2-year window and gives a breakdown of revenue looking both backwards and forwards to combine actuals with forecast revenue based on draft and future repeating invoices. The rest of the visualizations here are really driven by this timeline. Over here, we're looking at invoices to see what's actually outstanding and what needs to be recovered. Revenue is classified by account name, so you can see the performance of different sales accounts over time. You can hover and see exactly what these amounts are, and also what we expect them to be in the future, and even where these come from. One of the great things about Power BI is that it's interactive, so that makes it really easy to drill into data and identify what makes up the numbers. Looking at next month's Nemesis sales, these are all the invoices that we expect to be able to send out based on the repeating invoices that are already set up in Xero. Xero doesn't calculate future repeating invoices. This is something we've put into Connectly to automatically create forecast invoices for you based on whatever repeating invoice patterns you've set up, and that makes it super easy to build your forecasts. The integration between Xero and Power BI is very tight, which means that if I'm using this to chase debtors, I can narrow down on the invoice I want to see, then use the URL link to quickly be brought back into Xero and shown the invoice in question. Okay, so let's take a look and see how we built this. We're now in Power BI Desktop, and I'm going to start with the empty Connectly for Xero Microsoft Power BI template. There's a link in the description if you want to grab it and follow along. So the first thing I'm going to build is the monthly timeline for the historic and forecast revenue. We'll use Xero journals for this, so let's grab a table, actually. That should be a stat chart. And we're going to use journals, dates, and the account name, which we can grab also from journals. On the x-axis, I'm going to use fiscal months, which we find here. I'm going to use the reporting currency for the net amount. And for the legend, I'm going to use the account name. So the other thing, this is only supposed to be showing income, so I need to have a filter somewhere to ensure that we only look at the revenue. So I'm going to grab the account class and set it just to be revenue in this case. And right now, that's more or less looks like what we wanted. The original report only showed the current and previous financial year, so let's put some restrictions to get that. I'm going to go to the dates and use a page filter to restrict the fiscal year to be in the last 2 years. So I'm going to set filter use relative dates, so it's always going to show the last 2 years. And now I think that's the time period we wanted. Yeah, looks like it. So there we go. We've got our historical and our predicted sales just like that. So now let's head over and show a bit more detail on the invoices. For that, I'm going to create a table, and I really do mean to use a table this time. And I'm going to look at the invoices, and I think we want the invoice number, the invoice URL, the date of the invoice, its status, the due date. Let's leave that there. The other thing we want is to turn this URL into something that's clickable more easily. To do that, I'm going to go here, and then I can choose to have a URL icon. Just by turning that on, we now get the URL icon. The next thing we wanted to do is a bit of detail on the invoices themselves. So let's create another table, and we're going to go over to the invoices again, but this time we're going to have the invoice number, the invoice date, the sum of the net amount, and the status. And we'll need this description as well. And then let's just check that these are filtering. So yep, that seems to be doing what we wanted it to. Now we want an overdue amount, and that's basically the amount due in the reporting currency. And then finally, we want a little graph to show us when these invoices are due. So I'm going to grab another graph, But this time we're going to pick up invoices and we're going to have fiscal month names. We're going to take our invoice amount, net amount due, and then we can split that once again by the account name. But actually we just want to make sure that these are of status overdue. So we need to have a filter on here. There we go. And let's make that in the last 6 months. The last thing is to pick up the connection name so we know what Xero Companies is for. Fast Eagle. One thing that's worth showing you guys is at the moment we're sorting by an account name. But we can easily take a look to see what invoices are draft, paid and forecast by changing the legend at the top from account name and picking up the journal type instead. So it looks like we've still got some draft invoices in August that we need to investigate and see if we can send those out for Fast Eagle. Now, with a wave of a magic wand, all I need to do is the alignment and formatting, which can definitely take some time to get right, and we end up with the report I initially showed you in Power BI Online. So in this video, I've showed you how you can easily build a Power BI report that uses Connectly's future invoice forecast feature and create a backward and forward looking monthly revenue report, and how you can use this to dive into the detail of what the revenue actuals or forecasts are. So now you're in the position to build this yourself. But if you don't want to do that, you can just download our pre-built template. The link for that is also in the description. As always, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button somewhere there. And if you found that useful, leave a comment and let us know what you thought. Thank you for watching, and I do look forward to seeing you here again soon.